Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Still Becoming. Come on in, grab a seat. I have a new segment I'm going to be starting up with my lovely wife here, Rachel. Kind of behind the scenes, and has inspired me to kind of unfold this show into something that sort of just speaks what I'm about. And so I'm happy she's here, and we're going to be doing a new segment called kind of Still Becoming Together. And so what this show will entail is simply just how we break down our own perspective on what we feel a workout is. Sometimes it will blend together, and sometimes it's, will be completely different, especially at today's episode, what constitutes a good workout. After I kind of dive in, I'll let Rachel kind of constitute, what she thinks a good workout is. And again, this is not designed to be right or wrong. I know in a relationship, sometimes people want to be right and wrong. But again, this is just about, context. She comes from a background that's more built on a little bit in this, like, let's slow down. I don't care if I don't get a workout in today. I really want to, but life happened. Versus me, I'm a little bit more of that A type when it comes to working out, and I really just want to get out there and just destroy it. And so she's been kind of, at least that bridge, providing me more of this, like, slow down. It's okay. What's the purpose of the workout? So we've drawn some of that inspiration into my life as I've grown older, especially today, which is my 40th birthday. She did not want to, I didn't want to say it, but she's like, you should. I was like, but it's not really about it. It's just about the show. But yes, it is my birthday today. I am 40. And still going. That's right. 40 and still becoming. And so, gonna let her introduce herself for a little bit here, so you guys can kind of at least get an idea of where my wife's coming from, and then we'll get into our discussion. So again, if you enjoy the show, follow it on Instagram at stillbecoming26. There you'll also find the links for the show. And I hope you enjoy this new segment. We'll try to dive in every couple of weeks or few weeks and have another episode. So welcome, wife, to the show. Welcome to the camera, front and center now.
Thank you. Well, that was a light change from our garage. You already introduced me. I'm Rachel.
What's your background?
I'm your wife.
I know, but what's your background? Not background into, like, we'll get into that story later, which I can't wait to have that episode. I'm telling everybody that she's an amazing guest. We will have more in-depth story on her. She's a bit of a mystery a little bit right now, but I think that's what's going to be awesome about it. For those of you that are really needing even more inspiration, this person right here.
I'm a mystery. I'm a mystery.
Well, but we'll have your own interview episode coming up. But anyways, for the most part, tell a little bit about, like, what like you bring to the table here in terms of, obviously everyone knows I come at it from a running perspective, and I really just love running.
Yes.
So
you do love running.
Yeah.
I come from a musical theater background, so my fitness is more dance related, and I got into more strength training during COVID, which we won't talk about COVID, but mostly from a performing arts, anything that I did fitness wise was usually to help with performing arts.
Yes. And what do you do now, though? During the week, what do you do now? And how many days a week do you work out?
I still dance because I like doing it. And I have a husband who lets me take dance classes. And I strength train 3 to 4 times a week. I take dance classes and walk our 2 months every morning.
They're crazy. I go every once in a while with her.
And that's about my fitness. Usually I'll go for a jog.
Not inspired by me, though.
No.
Let's just be clear on that. She really does not like running.
We had a relationship, running, and I did.
Yeah.
I ran.
Not because of me.
No.
Yeah.
I did a few half marathons. Yeah, no, running's fine. It's not that I'm anti-run. There's just things I'd rather do.
Theater and dance is her background.
I would, if I had a choice between a Zumba class and running, I'd choose a Zumba class every time.
Which she did teach, by the way, before COVID killed that.
I did teach Zumba.
And now when she says dance, she's being modest, but she dances on a ladies salsa / bachata team, and they're going to Vegas in July. So she's preparing for that. So how this all will unfold in our episode today is, I mean, kind of more related to where she's at. For you musical performers out there, maybe musicians as well, this might tie in nicely, even though she's dancing. And yes, it kind of has a workout, but her workout is not like me, where we're preparing for a marathon. She's sort of preparing for just being on stage. And, you know, whether it's singing or dancing as she is, she's got to rehearse and perform with a team of 12 ladies. And so that can be a little bit different. Most people might see it as like, I love doing that, but I don't feel like I'm actually working out. And so, you know, we'll discuss this and let her know, you know, give her insight give you guys insight as to, you know, really what constitutes a good workout. Both of us can, I guess I'm maybe speaking for both of us on this part, but both of us can kind of at least agree upon that, yes, you need to move. Like whether it is walking, as I've said before, you don't know how to start anything, just getting out the door, having some sort of passion that you want to follow, whether it is, you know, walking on a treadmill and watching your favorite TV show. You're still getting out. You know, granted, keep doing things the same thing, that can sometimes not have great results down the road. But I'm about on the show is allowing people to come on into this, have a conversation, and allow them to let you know it doesn't take anything special. We might see things out there that are, oh my gosh, I could never do what they're doing. Well, you can. You're only seeing a small glimpse, and that is them sort of beating their chest and saying, yeah, this is me all the time. And I have to say, no, that is not you all the time. Stop doing that. You're making people feel very uncomfortable about trying to pursue their own passions and dreams. I think you need to be more encouraging of that. So that being said, let's dive into it, unless you have something else to add.
I was going to say, or you look at those people and think, I would never want to do that. I mean, kudos to the people that do Ironmans, but I look at that and think that's insane, and I would never want to do an Ironman. I will never sign up for a marathon. I don't know, what are some other crazy
ultra
oh no so I don't know, you
powerlifting records.
No. I don't have any desire to do a crazy jerk and press but I mean, nothing against people who want to do it.
Yep.
But I don't have that, oh, I wish I could do that, because I really don't want to do that.
See, this is why I like having her on here, because she gives it more the everyday common person and still after it, you know, and she's being modest about it. But yes, I would definitely say, well, when I'm saying that,
around a marathon.
Like, well, but when she's like, you know, it's more of like, that's how she really is. And I'm so glad we could get together on this, because she's really, I mean, I consider her more just the everyday person pursuing fitness, pursuing her passion of dance. And for me, it's more of like, this is survival. And I'm really trying to cut that out of my brain. But it's still more of like, I am so deeply ingrained into running that we are kind of on the opposite ends of that type of obsession. But again, it's not wrong. It's wrong when it becomes more of you're forgetting your family, or you're, you know, forgetting your obligations to do, you know, what you have a passion for. You know, you have to fit that into life. And so, you know, that being said, we'll dive into it. And today's topic is really what constitutes a good workout. And for me personally, what constitutes a good workout, I would say maybe a number of years ago, it would have been like, I need to murder myself every day. I'm not running that hard, she's knowing. Yeah. No.
Well, but yeah, I agree with you. There was a time in my life where I felt like I had to do the same thing. It wasn't a workout unless I was panting on the floor in a pool of sweat, or doing a HIIT workout or something that I felt like I was going to die at the end. It wasn't something that I could count as a workout.
Yes. That was about kind of the time we were maybe we were meeting or so when we first started. She was coming out of that, but I was still very much into that, like blood, sweat, tears to achieve something. And, I'd get more injured that way. And it wasn't up until I had an injury back in 2019 that things kind of changed for me perspective, and it still kept trying to change, especially with, thinking I needed to be the lightest individual out there to have success. And I would say it's been most recent in the last couple of years where I've just had this perspective of, like, to me, what constitutes a good workout, I still want to check all the boxes. Even if again, I've always said it before, red, green, yellow type workouts. Green being I checked all the boxes off and I managed to be out there and it went well. Yellow being, I showed up for half of it, more than 80% of it. And you know what? I had to tap out. And then red being, I physically could not show up or, mentally couldn't show up. Sometimes that can take away from workouts mentally. But again, the idea of what I call a good workout is just getting after it every day and really working on, I got to make sure I check all those boxes. And if I don't, mentally, I'm going to drive myself insane because all right, was the pace too hard? No, it was fine. My heart rate was good. All right, it was right in the box. Mechanically, all right, I'm moving efficiently. Okay, cool. I feel like that to me was a good workout. I checked off all the boxes. If I don't, I kind of get frustrated. And I will say I don't enjoy it, but I am learning. I am learning to be like, hey, it's okay. Yellows are still good. So, that's kind of where I come about it. It's definitely taken a long time to get to this point, but, I definitely would say I still have trouble with that. I would rather be running 5 flat, 6 minutes for my run pace, but I'm learning that that is always not the best solution every day. And sometimes a day off actually is not too bad for a workout considered if you're going out moving, even if you're lying on the couch. But what do you think?
Yeah, I don't think you can sustain doing crazy workouts all the time because that is, like you pointed out, how you get injured when you're trying to go like mad 5 or 6 days a week. Then I feel like we already mentioned you'd get injured. Or 2, if you don't really like doing that thing, then you are going to burn out so fast and you won't stay consistent. And consistency is the most important thing to improving over time.
Well, but consistency, I would say. Consistency not being, oh my gosh, I'm feeling just broken and but my schedule says I need to get in a long run today, but you're literally limping. Like, okay, well, you need to take the day off. And then the next day, oh, I feel actually okay. Well, then go again. Or no, I still have to take the day off. I'm still not quite healed up. Is more of the broad over a month. You've got, I don't know, 25 of 31 days in a month. Oh, and you had some time off because of X. Family got a little bit too crazy. Kids taking them everywhere, or you're dealing with a little bit of a niggle or an injury that you had to nurse. Consistency can also be maybe you did make it 30 days and you only needed 1 day off, but they were so easy most of your days. Consistency can look different for everyone.
I was going to say.
It can look different for everyone, but again, it is not hard efforts every day. It's really figuring out where your body needs to live in a space that can allow you to do almost something every day,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what are we talking about doing every day? For sure, walking, your body can do that every day. And you and I are definitely different with that because I don't work out 5 to 6. You do 6 days a week.
Sometimes
right?
7 right now. Depends.
Or 7.
Well.
See, I will never work out 6 or 7 days a week. I will weight train 3 or 4. I'll walk every day. And to me, my walks aren't a workout because I don't go into my walks with an intention of getting my heart rate at a certain level or going a certain distance. It's literally just to get our dogs out in the morning.
For some people, that could actually be considered moving kind of work.
It is still movement. It is still movement, and everything counts. That's my philosophy. Whether you're walking or grocery shopping, or any fitness person that I know that's worth their salt will say that every step matters. Those little things like taking the stairs matters. But back to a workout, for me, my workout is really just strength training. Certain dance classes certainly do feel like workouts to me, and they can be, and other dance classes are probably still in my world just movement. But again, they keep me consistent and they keep me happy, and I like doing them. So to me, that's what matters.
Well, and that's why I have her, like, I not have her, but that's why I suggest and keep pushing her to do it, because it's what she does love. It's her passion. Dancing, performing arts is her passion. And every time she's always like, I don't know if I can do it this year. I'm like, no, you need to do it, because if the kids can do something athletically, if you're allowing me to keep going as, you know, running and marathon chasing, she very well can do that. And I think that's something people forget in relationships, is there is a give and take to it. And even if there's some nights where I'm like, oh, I have to get the kids ready for bed. Granted, our kids are teenagers now, pretty much, but it's more of when they were younger too, like a couple years ago, you know, it was still hard. They weren't teenagers, and it was still like, oh my gosh, I'm driving myself crazy with how wild they are. But at the end of the day, you know, yes, there are sometimes she wasn't able to because maybe me and the older one weren't clicking. But at the end of the day, you know, it's still necessary for her to get her thing. And as she had spoken about earlier, you know, don't keep doing the thing that you don't enjoy, because you won't stay consistent. With her, she likes to dance, and it's just something that allows her to enjoy her passion. Keep at it. And I would feel devastated if it was like, you can't run anymore. I don't think we'd be together.
Run anymore, we wouldn't be together.
No, I mean, if you were literally like, hey, like,
Oh, if I told you,
yeah, you can't run.
Oh, okay.
Different context. That would be tough. But at the end of the day, you know, we always believe in this point of like, you do you know, follow your passion. But at the same time, you have to work it around family. You have to work it around your obligations. And, you know, we've at least been able to make that happen for the last, you know, we've been together almost 11 years now. And so it's one of those things that I'm like, we both take pride in keeping going. You know, you can only keep going with, you know, the ability to enjoy a passion that's going to keep you going further.
Well, right. And I wouldn't stop dance classes. It's teams that cost some money because you travel.
But she loves teams.
But that's what you were talking about when you said, no, don't stop. I wouldn't stop dancing or going to dance classes, but sometimes cost is a factor.
Yeah. But yeah, sometimes marathoning is a cost as well. So I don't race as much.
Okay. Now that part's done, we talked about what constitutes a good workout, and we mentioned that, one, I think we both agree that you don't have to kill yourself every time for it to feel like a good workout. What else to you is a good workout? What are components of a good workout?
Well, I think being more checking off the boxes. Like in my case, being a marathoner.
What's your box?
Well, being a marathoner, you obviously need to, you know, we're not going to talk about the nutrition side of things or, you know, sleep side of things, but, you know, we're just talking about the workout itself. I think for me, if there is, you know, obviously running involved for me. So I need to make sure I get out the door and I get my zone 2, at least for whatever the workout's scheduled. So for me, most of the time right now, it's been, all right, stay in the zone 2 box. And that can range anywhere for me from 130 to 145. But stay within that zone. That's going to be a workout. Your body's going to enjoy it. It's not going to stress. You're not going to die, and you're going to feel pretty comfortable at the end of it. As well as there's a couple days a week where, you know, I also include some weights. And it's not, for me, training for a marathon perspective has definitely changed. It's not, let me come in here and do 30 minutes, 45 minutes of like grueling, you know, high energy, heavy lifting. You know, that's going to tire me out more. The idea is to make sure the running in my marathon training is number one. Everything else has to support that. But that's what, for me, constitutes a good workout. Can I check all the boxes off that are around the running as well that need to be added, whether it's some PT strength warm up or it's the weight training, and then occasionally throw in a good, little workout on my fast Fridays. So that to me is what constitutes a good workout and a good week.
I can get down to that. I think in some ways I do the same. And I think everybody can do that. If you have the thing that you love to do, want to do, or the goal that you have, whatever it may be. When I think about strength training, I think about being strong enough to actually help someone, to be able to pick someone up. If my dad fell, and he's a big guy, over 6 foot tall, over 200 pounds, and right now I wouldn't be able to lift him. But my goal is to one day be strong enough that I could pick up over 200 pounds. So those type of things will help keep me consistent and keep me coming back if they're grounded in something that I want to achieve.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. She said it right, For her, she likes to, if she's not dancing, but like her weights, revolve it around practical needs. And I think that can also be a very great thing for someone. I want you to play with me, Mom. And so, I think that could be a great start, as you just want to be able to chase them and then figure it out from there. But, I think that's a wonderful, set point.
100%. That was a huge thing for me, having kids and toddlers and now teenagers, making sure they know that I can beat them in an arm wrestle.
She's ready. She's going to fight him. I'm going to fight him. But, to wrap our show up today, I think, this was a point well said and nice and easily discussed. Again, we didn't throw blows as a couple, because I'm right, you're right, maybe down the road.
We'll see.
Again, kind of a light topic to touch on. But, I hope you enjoyed the episode today of it still becoming together. And I definitely can't wait to do another one of these episodes. And so I will definitely say, I'll leave you guys with this. Remember that you are still becoming, and you are the only one stopping you. I'll see y'all next time. Have a good night.